This is KGW News at Sunrise.
As you wake up this morning and check your news feeds, you'll see this: a shooting on a movie set involving actor Alec Baldwin. His prop gun misfired, killing a crew member. We'll have the latest from New Mexico.
One of our top local stories this morning involves Port of Portland firefighters. They say safety is a concern after Oregon's statewide vaccine mandate placed more than a dozen port firefighters on leave.
Plus, two big stores are closing at a Hillsboro shopping center. So could an In-N-Out be taking their place? We'll dig into that coming up a little later.
One of those is a Barnes & Noble's bookstore that I know has been there for 25 years. So some changes coming to Hillsboro. It is a Friday morning here on the show. Brenda's in, Nina's out. Rod's still taking that long vacation, so we have Chris again.
Rod's out golfing in the rain. Yeah,
probably knowing him.
We're going to be seeing more rain today. We picked up more than an inch in Kelso yesterday, and Portland picked up about 83/100ths of an inch. The steady rain that we saw late yesterday afternoon, last night, is on its way out of here. But in its wake, you still see lots of green blobs back here. Those are the showers, the numerous showers that will pivot through the area as we roll through the day today. Here's the live sweep right now. Most of the I-5 corridor right now is relatively rain-free, but again, we've got some pockets of showers offshore yet to pivot their way through the region. It is currently 55 degrees last check at PDX. The plan for today, lots of clouds and on and off showers. Guys, we'll shoot for a high of about 58. It's possible we hear a rumble of thunder. Back to you.
All right, more from Chris coming up here in about 8 minutes. But right now, we're going to start our news coverage this hour with a story that is still developing as we get going here this morning. It involves a film set in New Mexico where police say actor Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun and it wound up killing a cinematographer and critically wounding the film's director. So according to investigators, Baldwin was filming a scene with a prop gun when the weapon discharged. The actor's spokesperson also called it a misfire of a prop gun that had blanks in it. Police, we know, have already questioned Baldwin, but at least for now, no charges have been filed.
Now to the Portland airport, where Oregon's vaccine mandate is making waves. The fire station there is operating with 14 fewer firefighters because the Port of Portland can't accommodate their request for a religious exemption. Alma McCarty explains what that means for PDX.
At Portland Airport Fire and Rescue, the number of firefighters is down from 41 to 27. 14 unvaccinated firefighters are on leave. This means the current crew is stretched thin, too thin, according to Alan Ferschweiler, president of the Portland Firefighters Association.
It's not the same level of response, no matter what the port says. It's not the same as what was there last week.
Although PDX falls within the city's jurisdiction, Ferschweiler explains it's rare for city firefighters to get called out there. With a shortage of workers, he worries about response times in and around the airport and the ability for everyone to do the job well.
No matter what the cause is, whether it be the vaccine mandate or because of a mass exodus, because everybody can retire, is a huge effect on the workforce and the morale of any department. And to lose that much experience in such a short time is really, really difficult for everybody.
While the Port of Portland acknowledged there is a burden on the 27 airport firefighters at the station, spokesperson Kama Simmons says the traveling public won't be affected.
The airport is not going to lose service or compromise any of the response time to the airfield.
Although religious exceptions for the 14 were granted, Simmons says those unvaccinated firefighters cannot be accommodated.
We respect your choice. However, your job requires that you cohabitate, that you live with others in the station, that you as a first responder interact frequently with members of the public, and it's not reasonable to make an accommodation to that exception.
She explained it comes back to this. The airport only has one station.
If there is a massive outbreak in the airport fire station, a massive COVID outbreak, there's not another station. If that station closes, then the airport shuts down. Without an airport fire department, we can't operate the airport.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. The 14 firefighters on leave have until November 30th to get vaccinated. Even though the port says it's working on a contingency plan to find more workers, the union president told us that is a tall order. He says training to become an airport firefighter can take anywhere from 6 months to more than a year.
The director of the CDC has endorsed COVID booster shots now from both Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. Certain groups of people are already eligible for the Pfizer booster. The CDC also says that once you are eligible for a booster shot, it's okay to mix and match, meaning your booster shot doesn't have to be from the same brand as your initial vaccine shot. And the big picture message right now from the CDC, simply that the COVID vaccines are working.
For most individuals, in most circumstances, death from COVID-19 is vaccine preventable.
The FDA gave its approval for expanding booster shot availability on Wednesday. So with the CDC's booster update this week, some local spots are now making plans to give out more shots.
But even with the CDC endorsement, Western states, including Oregon and Washington, have to clear one more hurdle. Christine Pitawanich takes a look.
It's been a big week for people who got the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine and have been waiting to get a booster shot.
Our employees pretty much just got Moderna vaccine because we didn't have the sort of deep freezers that were required to store the Pfizer at the beginning of the pandemic. So the staff are so excited to be able to finally get it.
Over at Columbia Memorial Hospital in Astoria, preparations are underway to begin offering healthcare workers their Moderna COVID-19 booster shots next Friday, the 29th. They're planning to have full approval to use Moderna and Johnson & Johnson as boosters by next week.
My name's Chris Lehman. I'm the director of pharmacy for Columbia Memorial Hospital in Astoria, Oregon. And in that role, for about the last year, I've been a big part of the county's vaccination program here in Clatsop County.
And Lehman has been watching the process closely, a process that can be confusing.
There's a lot of acronyms and other subcommittees and things like that.
Here's a flowchart from the Oregon Health Authority explaining the process. First, the FDA, then the CDC have to grant authorization. Next,
there'll be a group of Western states, which is Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and California, that has set up their own group that will review the data and make a recommendation.
The idea to be on the same page. Then it's up to the governor to give final approval. It's a long process, but for a reason.
When you're dealing with very new information that's changing all the time and you want it to be reviewed really thoroughly so that you are making sure that it's as safe as possible. And so that's why all of these steps have been put into place.
That was Christine Pitawanich reporting for us. The state of Oregon is now admitting it undercounted COVID deaths by 550 people. The Oregon Health Authority says epidemiologists only recently became aware of the mistake. They blamed it on a technical problem. Most of the deaths not previously reported happened between May and August of this year. In a statement, the OHA director apologized to the families of those who died. With this adjustment, there are now more than 4,200 COVID deaths in Oregon.
Well, this weekend, two big-name stores in the Tanasbourne area of Hillsboro will close for good. And what might be taking their place is a brand new In-N-Out. So both the Office Depot and the Barnes & Noble bookstore at the Tanasbourne Town Square are closing. That Barnes & Noble bookstore spot we mentioned earlier this hour has been there for 25 years, and Barnes & Noble says it's still trying to find a new spot to move to. So one of the reasons people think In-N-Out is moving into Tanasbourne Town Square is because earlier this year, the burger chain filed paperwork with the city of Hillsboro and submitted these drawings of what a restaurant there might look like. The idea of a new In-N-Out always creates excitement, and it also creates a lot of traffic headaches. The In-N-Out in Kaiser has been open for nearly 2 full years now, and you can still find long lines of cars there. So the possibility of a new one opening in Hillsboro is getting mixed reviews.
I feel like I'm probably a little torn. My husband's from California and we love In-N-Out, but that would also be a lot of traffic. So there is kind of the mix of both sides.
I'm excited. I used to live in Los Angeles and I would have In-N-Out all the time. And I'm so excited to have one this close.
Again, he's excited. The landlord of that Tanasbourne spot says negotiations with In-N-Out are going on right now, but they have not signed a lease yet.
Well, thousands of people across the Pacific Northwest took part in the Great Shakeout Earthquake Drill yesterday. It's an annual event. Here's some video from years past. Businesses and schools up and down the West Coast practice what to do in the event of an earthquake. The slogan, drop, cover, and hold on, pretty much says it all. Experts say when the ground starts to shake, find something sturdy like a table to hide under. And if you become trapped, tap on a wall or tap on a pipe to get rescuers' attention. Experts say don't yell for help because you can inhale dangerous amounts of dust and debris. Important information, but stuff you don't usually think about. We have much more information on earthquake safety if you go to our website, kgw.com. All right, Chris McGinnis is in for Rod this morning, and he's tracking the radar. That looks active.
Yeah, it was. It was really active last night. We're actually getting a little break in the sustained rain that we saw last night. Portland picked up 83/100ths of an inch of rain. Kelso picked up 1.02. Troutdale 9/10ths of an inch. Pretty good soaker late yesterday afternoon, last evening. That steady rain is out of here, but of course, in the wake of that, we have numerous showers offshore, pivoting inland, and that pretty much is the call for today. On and off showers in our forecast. I'll track it for you with Futurecast. You can see 10 a.m. the Futurecast here lit up here along the I-5 corridor, especially at the coast and through the Coast Range with showers that continue working their way through the region and on up into the Cascades. So again, not an all-day washout. We will have some dry time today, but be on the lookout for spotty showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder here in the valley. We get a narrow window to dry out this evening, and then another batch of rain, steady rain, we think comes in Saturday morning, which will taper off to showers Saturday afternoon, and then another slug of rain coming in on Sunday. So it's going to be a fairly wet 72 hours here. Futurecast likes Portland picking up upwards of another 8/10ths of an inch of rain before the weekend is done, and easily double that along the Oregon coast. All right, right now it's 55 degrees at PDX and elsewhere, 52 in Hillsboro, 51 King City. Big picture across the state. Burns right now at 58. That is a whole lot warmer right now than you were yesterday at this time. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, wet weather, not as, let's say, not as sustained or not as steady as it was yesterday, but numerous showers, maybe a rumble of thunder today. Rain to showers tomorrow, rain Sunday, showers Monday. You get the idea, guys. It's still a fairly wet 7-day forecast.
All right, Chris painting the weather for the next week there. While we wrap up Pet Week here on Sunrise, coming up next. You know, we've talked a lot about dogs and a lot about cats this week on the show, but how about we give some love this morning to the rabbits? Coming up, we're going to visit a local nonprofit that rescues rabbits and finds them new homes.